a third installment of our social media breakfast intro video. I have with me today Fred Harper, a technical evangelist from Mozilla, who will be presenting next week, October 23rd, at La Bistrut, starting at 8 a.m. We'll post some tickets in the description of the video, ticket links rather, so you can have a look. We're almost sold out, but this is just a little video to give a bit of context to those in attendance. Hopefully, come prepared with some questions, etc. The title of the presentation is Public Speaking, No Thanks. So Fred, I'm going to give him a second here in a minute to give a bit of an overview, introduce himself. First, some thank yous. Always, as usual, to La Bistrut for hosting the event, Chef Dana Elslager. Always great food down there. It's our 16th, I think, event out of 17 that we're holding there. So super thanks to her for supporting the group. As usual as well to Louis London, who helps with the social media endeavors, etc., setting up promos and the ticket and that type of thing. And this event, thankfully, is also being sponsored. It's our second sponsored event by ING Direct. I believe you can follow them at Orange YUL. But you'll have an opportunity to hear a bit more about what they do and how they might help you in terms of your businesses or your personal financial situation, etc. at the event. So we'll have someone from ING Direct speaking there for a few minutes before Fred presents. And without further ado, Fred, if you wouldn't mind giving us a quick intro, a little bit of a background on yourself. This is actually the second time you're speaking in our event, so thank you as well.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Appreciate that. And so yeah, I'll give you the floor, a quick overview of the event, yourself, and then I've got a few questions prepared for you.
Yeah, so my name is Frederic Harper. I'm from Montreal, of course. I'm a technical evangelist at Mozilla. So what does that mean is that part of my job is to do public speaking. So I like to say that my role is to give love to developers, to technical people. So I'm really there to help developers be successful on her platform. And part of it is to do public speaking.
Okay. And in terms of some of the events you've presented at in the past, outside of our own, I mean, I think there's a huge list. Folks can visit your site, which is outofcomfortzone.net, which is where you talk about all that type of stuff, where you blog regularly. But just quickly, before I get into the questions, so folks have some idea of the type of experiences you've had already, can you just list off a few of those events locally or elsewhere that you've participated in as a speaker or presenter?
Yeah, I would say that 99% of the presentation that I did were technical topics, except some of the more personal one, like I did at Social Media Breakfast or the places. I think I have more than 80 talks in the last 3 years, mostly in Canada, but also elsewhere, like in the States, and I did a talk in Poland. Soon I'm going to go in Mexico and Hungary. So in Montreal, I did the Social Media Breakfast. I did the Congoza web series. I spoke at Kung Fu. I spoke at different Microsoft, even because of Microsoft before, so like Make Web Not War, and mainly a lot of those were technical.
Okay, cool. And if you wouldn't mind telling us, if you can remember way back when you would have started doing this type of thing, what were someone looking to get into it, what were some of the early lessons that you took away from presenting? Regardless of whether it was technical or not, I think the preparation is sort of the same. What are some of those early sort of tidbits of information you could share with someone aspiring to start a career in speaking or speaking on behalf of their company, etc.?
Yeah, I would say that for the preparation part, I won't talk too much about it right now because I invite people to come to the Social Media Breakfast to hear about it. But I would say that if I have only one thing to tell people that want to start speaking is that when you're on stage, when you have the mic in your hand, you are the expert. You're in front of the attendees, you're in front of many people that at least see you as the expert. So it's important that what you're going to tell people, what you're going to speak, what you're going to say, what you're going to demo is really what you believe in, what you have any passion about, but also is the truth. And there is nothing wrong to say to someone, I don't have the answers. And this is totally okay to say, I don't know. Give me your email, your phone number, your Twitter handle, whatever. Give me a way to contact you. I will go find the answers and I will get back to you. Because if you say something wrong, if you say something false, first, that's not going to help the other people. And if there is someone in the room that know that you said something wrong, that's just going to ruin your credibility. And it's important to have that credibility when you're on stage.
Okay. And a few more questions and we'll wrap up, because like you said, we want to save most of the unique stuff for those in attendance. In terms of knowing your audience and being able to engage with them after the fact, how important is it that when you go into something like that, and I would imagine it's very important when you're looking at more of a technical talk, but something like our event or some of the more personal style presentations, like would you request that generally you get an email list, or do you talk to the organizer and get a sense of, you know, what the breakdown is of the type of attendees? Like how important is knowing the audience? Like you can't just, I would imagine, prepare something and hope that whoever's there is going to accept it. You have to prepare knowing who is going to be there listening to it, right?
Yeah, and it's never something easy, because there is no way that when you're doing your presentation, preparing your stuff, and delivering your presentation, that you're going to please everybody. There's always someone somewhere that won't like your talk, that won't be something that this person was looking for. So of course, what you can do is really talk to the organizers and trying to get a big idea or the big picture of who will be the attendees, what kind of people will be there. But even in those cases, most of the conferences don't really have the big picture of what kind of attendees, so they can give you the high-level stuff, or mostly like 80% will be technical and 20% will be more, I don't know, people that have interest in IT, or when it comes to something more less technical, you can say, oh, maybe 50% will be marketing people and the other 50% will be around social media and SEO and those things. But what I try to do when I have a specific topic is at the beginning of my presentation, because I know my topic, because I know my subject, it's not a script. I'm not reading something in front of people, so I can always go in my own way and change a little bit my presentation depending on what types of people are in the audience. So I may ask how many people use Facebook, how many people use Twitter, how many people know the stuff that I'm going to talk about, because if everybody knows the basic, I won't go to the basic. I will go to the hardcore stuff right at the beginning.
Right. Okay. And can you give us a sense of those that can't attend next week on the 23rd, where and what other types of presentations you're doing in and around the city of Montreal that people might be interested in? You mentioned something before we came online, which I thought is definitely worth a mention, because we've talked about it at previous breakfasts in terms of getting youth involved in the tech world, whatever that might mean to someone, whether it's programming or developing or that type of thing. Can you just maybe share some of the upcoming stuff that you're talking about, but particularly that one we talked about?
Yeah, so I may start just to give a quick idea of the presentation that I will do at Social Media Breakfast, just to give a better picture of people what they can expect from this presentation. So my goal is really to help people understand that there is great opportunities in public speaking. And you may be afraid of speaking in front of people. You may think that you're not that subject matter expert, or that you don't know enough to be in front of people, but you're probably wrong. There is a lot of great opportunities to do public speaking. It served me well in the past, and it continued to be something really amazing. So it's really about sharing your passion to other people, and it's really something that is highly valuable to people, but you get a lot out of it. So I will try to share a little bit my experience, my expertise around it, and my goal is really not to make a presentation in front of people, but really make it a two-way conversation. So I want people to ask me questions, I want people to share what I did, share my thoughts on different topics, and help people to understand where they can start to do public speaking. So when it comes to public speaking, I like to do this so much and to share with people so much that, of course, there is a part of my job that asks me to do conferences and workshops and hackathons and speak to those events. But as you said, I'm also doing this on the personal side, like the one that I'm going to do at Social Media Breakfast. There is no real relation with my day-to-day job, but this is really a topic that I really want to share. And what I'm going to do this afternoon and tomorrow, I'm going to a high school to talk to teenagers about the opportunities to work in IT. So to demystify some part of it, like it's not just for nerds, there is some cool job, you can make money, there is a lot of opportunities in different sectors, different industry, and it's not just about Montreal, this is mostly everywhere in the world, and the IT is not ending now. Like tomorrow, people won't stop they won't stop to use computer and do those things. So I'm going there to talk to teenagers to really try to give them the big picture about, yeah, working in IT is one of the possibility that you have when you're going to think about what you want to do for the rest of your life. And when it comes to other speaking gigs, of course, there's Social Media Breakfast, but in Montreal, I think that for now, that's probably the last session that I'm going to do for the rest of the year. So I have another session in Mexico next week,
Okay.
and I have another one in Hungary in November, but that may be a little bit too far from.
Typically in town, you'll do WordCamp, you'll do, there's a few others that there's Geek Fest, right? I think you take part in, which you organized or started back in the day, did you not?
Yeah, so yeah, I started the Geek Fest, so it was less a conference, more of a place where festivities and geeks goes to really geeks out and know each other and know different types of geek stuff. But in Montreal, there is a lot of things. There is, like, of course, WordCamp. There is startup events. There is a lot of things on startups. There is a lot of things around social media and marketing, like Hillbiz. If you want to meet people, there is not presentation in all those places, but
Yeah.
It's a great place to at least start to meet those people. That usually there's a lot of those people that do public speaking.
There's one coming up, and I'm not sure if you're aware of it or not. I'm trying to attend. It's on the 30th of October. It's the startup tour down on Saint Laurent.
Yeah, I think it's running by the guys from
Startup Drinks, no?
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, so it's a combination, like visit some of these startup offices. I guess they welcome you into their place. You have a chance to, go and chat with them. I'm wondering if it's not a good opportunity for some of those kids you'll be talking to go and see what it's all about,
Yeah.
Maybe not the drinks part, but okay, cool. So I'd like to thank you for your time today. It's good to get a bit of a sense as to what people can expect. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, unlike you, I've never been because I know you had a big sort of coming out party in the sense that you never did public speaking, you didn't enjoy it, and all of a sudden you said, I'm going to flip things on their head and just go for it. So I think part of that is what you'll share maybe with some of our gang, and which you have already in the past. So I'm a bit more familiar with you than maybe some other folks are, which is good for me, I suppose. And yeah, for sure, I thank you again for today, for signing up for the event. I think the folks are really going to enjoy it. Come ready with their questions on the 23rd at 8. And again, thanks to Dana, ING Direct. Anything you want to close out with, Fred?
No, I'm really looking forward to that Social Media Breakfast. So come ready. I'm not going to speak for 1 hour in front of you. It's really going to be a discussion. So I will introduce the topic, but I want people to participate.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, you've attended a lot outside of speaking at them. So I think depending on how much, well, I guess it depends too on the people that are there. In terms of the type of talk that goes back and forth, but it's been getting better in terms of the crowd participation. So I'm hoping with this one, because it's so public, that we have some good communication going back and forth. So once again, thank you. I'm going to sign off, everybody. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye, Fred.